again to in the streets. Today is a day that makes my blood boil and my stomach puke, just to be standing here in front of what I classified as wasteful spending of the people of Jamaica's money. Standing right here at Emancipation Park in front of this garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with one of the presidents of the UNIA, the Honorable Racy Matthews. Racy Matthews, welcome to In the Streets.
Greetings, my brother.
Racy Matthews, I mean, can you imagine this statue being erected at Emancipation Park, where our children come on a daily basis? Our children walk by, going to school, going to the ice cream parlor, or even on the Sunday afternoon with their parents, having to look at this. Is this what we classified as art for our children to take into the next generation? Is this what we have been emancipated to? What are your thoughts about this ridiculous artwork as they classify it, Honorable Racy Matthews?
It's a total disgrace. This in no way reflects the struggles of African descendants in Jamaica. It is a total waste of money, and especially the small contributors to the National Housing Trust who cannot even get a house, and they use this money that could buy a house to erect this garbage to say it is reflecting the struggles of our emancipation from slavery. We want to look at how did this garbage get here in the first place? Who are the persons who sanctioned it? Who paid for it to be done? And I am certain there will be some corruption and collusion between people in the House of Parliament and people on the board of the National Housing Trust. And it is so timely that it is happening at this time, that we can realize that it has been going on for a long time, because we can now join this with the outer many
Most definitely.
garbage that they are now showing you, that how much money has been spent per acre of land to build house for poor people, which is a lie, total lie. So we have to understand that the collusion between government ministers, people who sit on these boards of directorship, and how they waste the hard-earned money of our people. Garbage.
I was made to understand by going into the newspaper and checking some of the facts in regard to Emancipation Park. Over $100 million was spent in refurbishing this park. I don't know what is the true cost of this monument of garbage, but we will find out how much money it actually cost the Jamaican people for this. Recently, while we honor our heroes and we honor Emancipation Day, Tony Rebel, a recording artist, said in front of almost 10,000 people, what do you think of this garbage that is placed in front of Emancipation Park? Wouldn't it be better if you had Louise Bennett as a statue? And guess what? Over 10,000 people cheered and said we do not want this garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with the Honorable Racy Matthews. We're going to fight assiduously to make sure that this garbage is removed forthwith, and replaced by the right statue that should have been here in the first place, and that is the statue of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Remember, it was not Bob Marley who coined the phrase emancipate yourself from mental slavery. It was the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Matthews, what more do you want to say? Because I know this has been irking at your funny bones to come forward.
As you mentioned the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey said the first emancipation was the emancipation of taking the chains from your hands and your feet. The second emancipation is the emancipation of the mind. And this is why he said you must emancipate yourself from mental slavery. This is only reflecting mental slavery. What we need a statue of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, teaching children to emancipate themselves from mental slavery, to rise up from being peons and serfs and become great men and great women of recognition. The African fundamentalism, Mr. Garvey said, we must create our own heroes and heroines. We cannot allow people to throw these things on us. This was not ordained by the people. This was put upon the people by other people in power. Now we want to make them understand that the real power lies in the people, and they have to consult with the people before they can erect something for the people.
You know what was striking, Brother Racy, when you mentioned to me while we was coming here, you said to me, Claude, can you imagine only a handful of people was responsible for selecting this garbage for the massive of the people? How could a handful of people sit down at their tables or wherever they sat down and decide for 3 million people in Jamaica? This was actually forced upon the Jamaican people. But guess what? We are here and we are Jamaicans. We are going to make sure that the statue of the right Honorable Marcus Garvey be erected right here at this site for our children and for our children's children. Racy, when I look at what is happening in our Jamaica, we're looking at our children being molested. Over 3,000 cases of child abuse has been happening to our children thus far for this year. Over 3,000 more children.
3,000.
We're not talking about women being abused. We're not talking about sexual assault on our boy children as well. It's not just our female children are being assaulted. When they come from school and they look at this garbage, what do you think will enter the mind of our children? Nudity is okay. It's okay for you to show your penises in the public. It is okay to show your breasts in the public. Is this what we have been emancipated to?
Well, it's good that you mentioned that, to show the dichotomy created by these people. Under the Town and Communities Act, if you expose yourself in any one of the byways, highways or thoroughfares, you are arrested under the Town and Communities Act for indecent exposure. And yet still now you are setting an example to show the people that nakedness is okay. It must be removed, and by the will of the people we are saying this garbage must be removed forthwith and replaced with a statue of the right excellent Marcus Garvey, the prophet of the people, the only person that put self-confidence in the people, the only man in his manifesto to call for land reform, that every Jamaican should own a piece of land instead of having squatters today. This is what we must revisit to get the real interests of the people being served by the politicians. The politicians today are only serving the big corporate companies that donate money to the party when they have an election. The last election they spent over $200 million donated by corporate Jamaica, and it is still corporate Jamaica that ordained this garbage, because this is a daughter of corporate Jamaica. I think her name is Lauren Facey. These people have been controlling Jamaica through the control of money, wealth. And we must remember, in the days, in the 1920s, there were laws prohibiting black people from rebending. You couldn't buy something and sell it back. But the white man could, the Chinese could, and the Indians could. The black man was prevented. So we have to understand where the wealth is coming from and how they use the wealth to control the politicians today.
Most definitely.
And this is what we have to talk about.
Brother Racy Macho, I thank you very much for your time, because I know you're a very busy man. Jamaica, this is what we're up against. If this is what you want for your children, then we can go right ahead and accept garbage. But if you want truth, rights, and justice for your children and your children's children, join with us to remove this garbage from Emancipation Park and replace it with the true replica. A replica and a sculpture that was done by a brother in the United States of America that was commissioned by Dr. Julius Garvey. The sculptor's name is Nigel Bings. Nigel Bings is the sculptor that did a beautiful statue of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. And we must rally around to make sure that this statue be placed right here in front of Emancipation Park. I spoke to Brother Nigel, and the cost to put such a statue is a lot of money. But guess what? We can rally around, and if every Jamaican put $1 towards making this statue of Nigel Bing a reality, then we can have a true replica of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Do you want to say anything in parting, Brother Racy?
Yes, in parting we want to look at the words Emancipation Park. Emancipate means to free yourself from one's control. We are controlled by the corporatocracy that is in Jamaica. We must now free ourselves from the holding power of corporate Jamaica and the politicians.
Thank you very much.
People, rise up. Wise up and rise up. Wise up and rise up.
Wise up and rise up. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Remember, one God, one aim, one destiny. We shall have our day when the Right Honorable Marcus Garvey will replace this garbage. Thank you.
That's it.